Hi, Amy with Fashion Toppings here with a quick refashioning. Some of you will remember from one of my last thrift hauls, I got these beautiful scarves and I said I didn't want to cut this one up just because it looked like a piece of art. Look at how beautiful this is. It has the Moulin Rouge dancer in the middle and all the people that are attending the event. Isn't that gorgeous? It's like a piece of art. And so I didn't want to cut it up, so I'm going to make it into a kimono. Okay, and then I got this other one that is pretty and it's colorful. It's the exact same size, but I don't mind cutting this one up so much. So we're going to make it into a quick and easy 10-minute kimono. And you've probably seen this on YouTube before. I got the idea off of Pinterest, and but I was going to make it for myself. So if I'm going to make it for myself, I'm going to share it with you. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be working this. I have this little work area in front of me. I'm going to turn the camera down in just a second. But I'm going to have like sides facing together. So even though the scarf looks the same from both sides, one side is just slightly shinier. This one's shinier than this side. So I want the good side facing up. Okay, and if you have a top and a bottom, make sure you pay attention to where that's at, so that you don't end up sewing it all together and have the back of your kimono upside down. Okay, so I have the good side facing up. Let me go ahead and turn this down. Okay, so I have the good side of my scarf facing up, and I have it facing you the right direction. As you can see, here's my dancer's head right here, and her feet are down here, so I have it facing the right way. Now, the scarf that's going on top, like sides are going together, and this is my good side of the fabric facing up. Okay, so I'm going to have the good side of my fabric of my other scarf, and deciding which direction I want it to hang, the good side facing down. So I have both good sides facing each other. Okay, so, okay. Now, this is the top. This is where my head is going to be coming through the kimono, up here at the top. My arms will be, ouch, ouch. There we go. Didn't have it locked in. Okay. So my head is my head will be up here. My arms will be right here, and my legs will be down here. So this is gonna be so easy, and like I said, it's gonna take 10 minutes. First thing I need to do is I'm going to pin my corners together so that everything stays straight. Okay, so I'm going to pin my corners together and as close to the edge as I can, because I don't want to put any holes in the silk fabric. Okay, and I'm going to pin it, holding the seams together along the top, because this is going to be this right here. And I'll draw a picture and I'll show you. But here's our arms. Like I said, this will be the opening for the arms. So, and our head will be coming out center here. So we need to pin our shoulder seams. And I'm going to pin all the way across, because we're going to cut the front scarf only right up the center to be the opening of our kimono. It'll make sense as soon as I get started. So I'm going to go ahead and pin all the way across. I'll do that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now I just have the top of my scarf pinned all the way across, because this is going to be the shoulders. And the reason I pinned all the way across is it's going to go from the shoulder. It's going to go from the shoulder up to your neck. It's going to go across your neck and then down to the other shoulder. So that's one continuous seam. So we don't have to cut a neck hole at all. So I just pinned across the top. Now, for the arms, you get to decide how wide you want your armholes to be open. Now, the Pinterest page I was looking at, they recommended 13 to 15 inches. So I'm just going to eyeball it based on what just hold it up. And I'm just going to eyeball about how big of an opening I want. That's how big I want. So let me measure it real quick, since I got the little measuring board right on my table here. Mine's 15 inches. So I'm going to be doing my armholes 15 inches. So lay it back down the way I had it. Now I'm going to measure down for my corner up here at the top. This is where my pin line is. I'm going to measure down 15 inches and put a pin. And I have a measuring board already on my table here. I'm going to measure down 15 inches and place a pin. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. Got to make sure my armholes on both sides are the same length. So let's go ahead and I'll measure down 15 inches for that one too, and then place a pin. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is, so now I have it pinned how big of an opening. Here's my kimono. I've got the seams pinned all the way up here, and then I left it open from the corner down 15 inches, and I have a pin right here. So I'm going to start sewing again from here down to the bottom of my scarf, all the way to the bottom corner. So from the 15-inch pin all the way down to the bottom hem. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pin that on both sides. And the more I move this, the more my pins are falling out because of the silk. And I always find it easier to start pinning from the bottom edge and pin up to the bottom of the armpit. That way you know your bottom corners are going to meet up nice and neat. So now I have it pinned all the way across the top. My armhole is open down 15 inches, and then I pinned from that 15-inch mark down to the bottom corner, and I did the same on this side as well. This side I went down 15 inches, and then I'm going to pin there to the end. So, and then we leave the bottom hem is already finished for us. We're not even going to do anything with that. So let me go ahead and finish up my pinning right here, because I did this side and I got to do this side, and then we'll take it to sewing. Then we'll take it to the sewing machine, and I'll show you what's next. Okay, I'm going to do across the top of the shoulders, across behind the neck. So I'm doing that top seam. So I'm doing the top seam that goes across my shoulders from one arm to the next. And I'm going to go close to the edge. Okay, pull my needle out in advance. Okay. Fixed stitch, I'm doing a straight stitch. Okay, back a little bit. Forward. Okay, I had to just get it started. Okay, now I'm holding my fabric, I'm putting my fingers between the two layers. That helps because it's slippery. It helps it from slipping. And I'm just going to hold it. So I hold the two straight together. So it's nice and flat. See how it kind of nice and gentle. Makes my fabric flat here so it's not going to slip. And I'm going to guide it with my other hand. And I'm just going to do a straight stitch. Okay. A little farther down, take the pins out. The fingers between the two fabrics so I can hold it tight. And continue. Okay. Take the pin out. The fingers in between, two layers. And continue. Okay, and I need to make sure I fix and backstitch. Okay, so now I have my see what we sewed on the wrong side of the fabric, so when we turn it inside right, we have a nice finished seam. Okay, so now the neckline is done. Now, I know it's hard to tell which direction I'm going. Now I'm going down to the pin that's 15 inches down from my shoulder, so that's giving my arm opening. So I'm going down the 15 inches to that pin. And do the exact same thing. Okay, and I'm going to do a straight stitch as well, same as I just did. Fix or back stitch. Get started. I'm going to hold the two layers together. Take the pins out and hold the two layers together. I'm coming to the bottom corner, which is our bottom hem. Make sure our corners meet. And if you don't want to go all the way to the corner, if you want to leave like an open V, you can. You can just stop right there. That's up to you. Okay, stop and back stitch. So it locks in that stitch. There's one side. Now, I have to go on to the other side, the other arm. Okay, so this is what we have so far. My armholes, there's one armhole there, and there is one armhole right there. See a large armhole. Our neckline, and then the bottom, here's our bottom hem. So the front is closed. Right now it's just like a big shirt without a hole for our head. So what we need to do now is I'm going to cut a straight line right down the front, that top scarf, right down the center. I'm just going to cut straight down like we're making a cardigan, and then we're going to fold our edges, our raw edges, hem them, and we're done. So, here we go so far. This is the front of our kimono. This is the scarf I'm going to cut. The back of the kimono I don't want to cut. So I'm going to fold it in half, shoulder to shoulder, the top of the scarf that we just sewed, so I can find front center. If you want to, you can iron it so it puts a crease in it, so that'll give you a nice straight line. I don't have an iron in my sewing machine, or in my sewing room. The ironing board is actually in my master bedroom, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I fold it in half so I can find front center, and I'm going to put a pin right at front center. You can take it to an ironing board and iron it, and that'll put a nice crease in it, and that'll give you your line to follow. And then I'm going to place pins down my fold to give me my straight line. And I might use my thin, extra thin needles that I've got. Okay, so I'm just going to put some pins down the fold line to give me an idea of where to cut. Okay, now that I have it pinned, I'm going to open it up. Now remember, I have the shoulders up. The shoulders and the neckline is always up by me. The bottom hemline is by you. And now I'm going to cut it. I'll show you. Okay, so here's my bottom hemline. There's the bottom hemline. I'm going to cut straight up my pin line up to my shoulders. Making sure only to cut the top scarf. Okay, so as you can see, here's my top shoulders as usual, and I cut the top scarf. So it'll be my opening of the kimono. Let me show you. So I cut the top scarf only, right all the way up the center, and stopped when I got to the top of the scarf. And my pin's away, so I can show you. See how easy this is? So this is the top scarf. I just cut it in half is all. And here is my beautiful scarf that I didn't have to cut into it at all. So I made this real easy kimono. Now, since this fabric will fray, now what I'm going to do is, with the cut edge that I just did, I'm just going to fold it over. Take it off. I'll show you. I'm just going to do a double rolled hem, or you can do a single rolled hem. That is up to you. But here is. Make sure you're working from. Make sure you know which. If you have it inside out or inside right, you want to fold it. Here's my raw edge on the front of my scarf. I know it's so hard. The scarf is like hard to tell where I'm at. But this is the raw edge I just cut. This is the front of the cardigan. You want to fold towards the wrong side of the fabric where you can see all your seams. You want to fold it. You can just fold it once if you want, or you can fold it twice. And then, see how you got a finished edge now? Run a stitch right down that. So I'm not going to put any pins in this because I don't want visible holes now that I've got it all cut. So all the area that we just cut, we're going to do a double rolled hem. Take the raw edge and turn it once, and then turn it a second time, and then we're going to stitch down that and double rolled hem. I know it's really hard to see on this, and I don't have a camera that does a close-up, so I apologize again. But I'll show you. We'll go to the sewing machine. On the sewing machine, here's my shoulder seam right here. And so you can tell that it's inside out because I can see my excess fabric, my seam allowance. And so I'm just going to fold it once to get started. I'm going to fold it once. I'm going to sew, and then I'm going to fold it. I might fold it again because the fabric's too slippery, and I don't want to put my rolled hem foot in here. I would, but I haven't mastered that foot yet. So, so I'm just going to fold it once and sew a straight line all the way down. Okay, so I'm just doing a small roll, like not even about a quarter of an inch. And I'm folding as I go. See, I'm folding towards the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, fixed stitch or back stitch. Okay, you can stop here if you'd like because this is the seam that's in front, you know, like the opening of a cardigan. This is what's in front of your body, so it does look finished. It's just that the back side isn't so finished. So if you want, now that we have it sewn once, see how it's got that rough edge right here? You can fold it one more time, like this. So now look at nice and finished, and you can sew it again. Okay, so now that we have it folded once, and it's going to stay put, the fabric's not going to slip because we sewed it once, we folded it. So once again, we're looking at our rough edge. See the rough edge right there? We're going to fold it again. So let's fold it again towards the wrong side of the fabric. And put my needle down in the down position. That'll hold the fabric for me so it won't slip, and now I can just follow my old stitch line. Just fold and go. Fix stitch. Okay, let's go try it on. Okay, well, it's done. And I apologize that, this one might have been a little bit difficult to follow along with, but here, this is so simple. Let me do a real quick recap of what I did. Now, you'll notice I have 2 scarves. Okay, you remember the scarf? This is the one I showed you during my thrift haul. Okay, so I know it's big enough because it reaches all the way across my body, past shoulder to shoulder. So I knew it was big enough. So I have 2 scarves the exact same size. So I put right sides facing each other. So we're looking at the ugly sides. I put the right sides facing together, laid them on top of each other, and I sewed all the way across the top, making a shoulder seam. Then I measured down from the top corner, measured down 15 inches, put a pin that was to make an armhole on the side. So I made a pin, and then we sewed all the way to the bottom of the scarf on both sides. So over here, measured down from the corner, down 15 inches, put a pin so I can mark it, and then sewed all the way down to the bottom of the scarf. That gave us our shoulder seams, our armholes, and then our side seams. Then I turn around, and then remember the scarf that we had on top? I just folded it in half so I could find front center. There's front center, and I cut only the top scarf from the top all the way down to the bottom, giving us our opening of our cardigan or our kimono. And then all of our rough edges, to keep them from fraying, just did a double rolled hem. That's all I did. Now I've got myself a cute little kimono, and I was in love with these scarves to start with. They were a piece of art, and I didn't want to chop them up. So this is the best alternative to not chopping them up. So let me show you how it turned out. Love the back. That's that scarf that I was in love with. So here we go. I think it turned out pretty cute. Let me flip the chair. I think it turned out pretty cute. So I have my opening. And then we have the armholes. You can belt it if you want to, which I won't. I'll just leave mine hanging open. And here it is. There's the back. And it's nice and long. See how long it is? But I get to see the back of my piece of art. I like it, and it's so easy. I know a lot of people are making kimonos, but if you go, look how cute it is even on the inside. See on the inside? It's just as pretty on the outside as it is on the inside. Flash it up. But this is, I think this is just a cute, easy way. Cardigans, I mean, if you go to some of the stores, even if you go to TJ Maxx, they're still over, $20 for one at TJ Maxx. And if you go to a retail store, like a big name store, you're going to pay $50 for one of these, if not more. And so just take 2 scarves that are the same size. If not, you're going to have to cut them down, or you have to do some double rolled hems wherever you cut, because scarves will always fray, pretty much. But this is easy. Just put the 2 scarves together. And if you want to make your armhole smaller, then, I went down 15 inches, but you can always go down 13 inches if you want to tighten that up a little bit and make it a little bit smaller. You can do that. But there we go. Another sewing project. So, well, I hope you liked this. It was quick and easy. This is Amy with Fashion Toppings. Until next time, you have a great day.